SUVs and crossovers are killing sedans these days, but if these two cars are any indication, the Mazda 6 and the Nissan Altima, it's that this segment still has life. And you know what, Paul? I'd rather have the Mazda 6 over any comparable crossover.
Well, I'll just say this about the Mazda 6. I think the Nissan Altima is the more comfortable car, and the sales prove that point, and I think the Altima has your Mazda 6 beat.
Really? I think you're in for a disappointment today.
Well, the only way to find out is to test both cars and drive them and see which one's actually better.
Are we going to fight like we did last time?
I don't want to fight. We're in the 2016 Nissan Altima Sl trim. 2.5 liters, 4-cylinder, 182 horsepower, 180 pound-feet of torque.
It's not the most refined interior. There's a decent amount of hard touch plastic here.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's the most refined. And the infotainment system is just, yes, it's easy to use. The buttons are pretty big and clearly labeled, but it just seems outdated.
Yeah.
And this car was just refreshed for 2016.
Yep. I think that's one of my biggest complaints too, is that the overall feel of the car, for almost $35,000, it just doesn't feel as well put together as the Mazda 6.
Yeah. This car is exactly what the average buyer needs.
We are in the 2016 Mazda 6 GT, and
First impressions, Paul, what do you think?
the difference is almost like night and day in here.
Yes.
There's like, yeah, the interior is just like a step up.
It is just so polished. It's a lot more polished than the Altima. You have better materials, more soft touch surfaces.
I like the infotainment screen. There's definitely a bit of a more of a learning curve with the knob, but this is pretty easy to get. It's pretty easy to figure out. But definitely the steering wheel feels sportier. It's got paddle shifters as well, and the overall drive just feels like it's more tuned for sport.
One of the things I think the Mazda 6 needs is a more powerful engine.
Definitely. I think if this car had a 6-cylinder or turbo option, it could sell a lot more. So Nick, we've driven both cars. What do you think?
You know, I kind of feel bad for the Mazda 6 because in the US and Canada, the Altima absolutely decimates the Mazda 6 in terms of sales.
Yeah, like 5-1.
But it baffles me because the Mazda 6 is a much better car all around than the Nissan Altima, in my eyes at least. It has a better interior, it looks so much better, and it drives great for what's basically a dad sedan.
I'd probably go for the Mazda 6. And it pains me to say that because I wanted to like the Altima more. It lacks what the Mazda 6 has, but it outsells the Mazda 6 by a crazy number, and I don't understand that.
It's one of life's greatest mysteries.
It's a conundrum.
For Driving.ca, I'm Nick Stragianis.
And for Driving.ca, I'm Paul Choi.